Today we're going to talk about the Tracey Mysteries, purportedly written by Francis K. Judd. Now, this is a series of murder mysteries in between the Dana Girls and Nacy Drew. It's the genre going from the school story, because the Dana Girls are in boarding school, and the Nacy Drew series. Books for young women, older girls kind of thing. The Dana Girls are for the young set. Then we have the Tracey Mysteries, and then we have Nacy Drew. Every single one of them is a concept. There's no actual single author. It's all ghostwritten. In the case of the Tracey Mysteries, they've been periodically reissued. The latest is 1980 by Bantam Books, and they all have their own stable of writers. And they all have their formulas and their illustrators that they like for this particular concept. But this was all done to compete with Nacy Drew and the Hardy Boys, because of course they have their male equivalents. And sometimes the girls act a little too boyish, so they have to calm it down, make it seem more girly, so the girls can identify and get this sort of... But still, I found one. Somehow, one of these made it onto my shelves. And the concept is rather silly. You have a 16-year-old girl, Tracey, and her two girlfriends, and her one girl enemy, and her mommy. And it's so old-fashioned. It really is something extraordinary. This particular story was allegedly written about, 1930 something. Of course, the order of the various mysteries within the series keeps getting shuffled every time it's published. This one has been published 3 times, so it's difficult to say. The Lone Footprint is the one I read. And the problem is, I'm sure the writers did their best, but a 16-year-old girl solving mysteries and not contacting the police at every opportunity, excuse me? What's the first thing people should do? I mean, you've got people running around, roaming through houses, making horrible noises, leaving dead skunks under the steps, and things like this. Come on. You pick up the phone, you call the cops. That's what one does. Now, I realize in certain situations, this might not be the best choice. However, at this time period, seeing as how these are white people in the 1930s, why wouldn't you call the cops? You're not their first target, after all. So, and a little fluffy bunny girl? Come on. These girls are portrayed as pretty much demure and naive. Here you are, 3 girls, out at night. What mother would let you go, even if there are 3 of you there? I mean, seriously. And there's all this stuff going on with people roaming through houses that they don't own. I mean, that's some serious nonsense. They get their boat stolen, and they don't call the cops. Brand new, beautiful boat for trundling up and down the river. You know, something on the order of a Chris Craft, and they don't call the cops. A 16-year-old who can't drive. And everything that could go wrong goes wrong. And oh, we can't jump to conclusions. The basic premise is Uncle, who left banking under a bit of a cloud, because nobody knows who is at fault at this precise moment. And he bought some property and he built some nice cabins on it, and it's a pretty spot, and he wants people to buy and enjoy their little weekend away cottages, and they start to do so. But with all the creepy crawlies and all the odd noises and the dead skunk and whatnot, you know, they start leaving and not coming back. And then, of course, they spread all sorts of, oh my God, you know, word of mouth. So he stands to lose a packet. It sounds to me like someone knows more about that spot and wants it for themselves. So they're going to drive him off the land. And then there's these people running around, stealing boats. Who the hell are they? What's their connection? Yeah, it's one thing after another. But they just happen to notice this old guy roaming around, poking at rocks and picking out certain ones, and then moving along. And then there's an explosion, and then a tree falls over and locks him in a cave, and then all these little, and I got this great offer. And then he goes in because he's caved. He wants his money, so he agrees to sell. No, not quite. He gets kidnapped and stuck in a sanatorium and shot up with opiates to keep him quiet. And it's like, call the damn police, will you? But they don't, because we don't know. We don't want to jump to conclusions. And little Kay Tracey keeps getting her scarves stolen, and then she gets accused of theft because somebody left a scarf there. Her scarf, of course. Oh, and the horses get scared by this thunderstorm out of nowhere. So they have to find the horses. And of course, there's a whole family of bad guys living over here that has the local populace and the local hired men that they did to provide security for these homes. Oh, they're so frightened they don't want to say anything because, you know, they might get beat up by the bad family over here. Really? Honestly. It's too much. They want every single page crammed full with another inexplicable thing happening. So they cram it all in. Get it all in there. And make sure the girls aren't terribly effective. I mean, there's no guns, there's no calling the police, there's no real investigation. Oh, they follow some tracks. Oh, but a group of boys chased us. Get a big stick. Hide behind the tree. When they walk past the tree, clunk them over the head. Duh. Sweetheart, come on. But no, that wouldn't be ladylike. That wouldn't be nice. Well, there's times when not being nice has a value. And if people are hunting you, that's a good time to not be nice. Either get gone or stop being nice. So, you read this book and you're wondering, why haven't you gone to the police yet? And you just happen to find a wallet that the bad guys dropped. Really? And you happen to find the business card from the sanatorium. And you happen to go there and manage to talk your way into talking to the various nurses and doctors and so on. Because you're a good, clean kid, right? Oh, but I was so worried. Nurses who are worried aren't tender little creatures. As far as I can tell, you give a nurse a little, power, you better watch it. Because she'll grab hold with both hands. And if she gets worried about a patient, that doctor's in for a rough ride. Even if it is 1930. So, improbables. Too many fortunate instances. She just happens to get herself kidnapped. And she comes out safe and sound. I mean, she was half unconscious the time she spent with in the clutches of the bad family. She wasn't trifled with in any way. Sure. The bad guys who stole her boat, or her uncle's boat, don't quibble. They just tie her up in such a way that she gets loose, and covers the boat with the tarp, the top that they throw over boats, to keep the dirt out and whatnot. And then they go off and leave her there. What does she do? She escapes. Duh. Does she go to the police? No, whatever for. Even Miss Marple goes hurtling into her mysteries with backup and protection as needed. But not this girl, no. Totally unrealistic. One doesn't find 16-year-old, non-driving schoolgirls off interrogating people, investigating people, and doing all this moment for moment. Pitching into one ditch after another. And just picking up, carrying on, looking amazing, of course, and going on. I mean, go on. Totally unrealistic. Oh dear. It's just very, very silly. And thank goodness I don't find another one of these. Lordy, lordy. What a genre. Lying to people. In any case, please understand that Francis K. Judd does not exist, and there is no K. Tracey. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps. Please don't give these to your daughters. Thank you very much for coming, and please do come again.